Hello there, and you are there, and I am again. I'm here. Didn't expect to be doing one of these so quickly, but it's again do an update. Something happened. Like if I was to put in a metaphor, it was essentially put up the last update, got ready, turned off the lights, shut the door, and then thought, I didn't unplug that. I'm gonna have to go back in there. That's a fire hazard. Came back in. And then something else was there. So do a little update on that. As I said, this wasn't expected, but I'll be honest, I've got a strong opinion on it. I think we need to speak about it now. Again, ties into videos that I was going to do in the future, but I'll get into that. And we can go through this one. So let's get on with the subject matter in hand today. So, as some of you, I imagine, have seen, and some might be new to this, just around about the same time as our last update went up, there was a video put up with a chat with Sandra Lean and Sean Parker. As some people pointed out in the comments on that video, one person did, which will go into comment corner, Mr. Parker is a very interesting character indeed. Working through Empowering Innocence TV, the chat was kind of much the same as what Ms. Lean's chats are. I don't mean that as, well, I probably do, it's pretty a harsh way to put it, but there's only so many talking points, so if you've heard one, you've kind of you've heard a lot of them in that sense, because there's not much other ground you can cover unless there's more updates. But regardless, the conversation was actually, I believe, took place on the anniversary of the incident itself, which, well, let's be honest, that's questionable. But what makes it questionable, I suppose a big more point is that, as someone pointed out in the comments, Mr. Parker is actually a registered sex offender. In 2016, 2 attacks, 1 rape, 1 assault in June and December of 2016, which he was found guilty for. And sentenced to 8.5 years at Portsmouth court in 2018, I believe. So, as I say, that's a quite damning thing. Now, obviously, Mr. Parker does not agree with his conviction, taking place, as I say, in the Seafish music venue in Bognor Regis. It was 2 females who had claimed that after a night of gigs, drinks, they were invited to obviously stay. Parker was involved with the venue and they were both assaulted. They did speak in court of him taking advantage of not only the alcohol but their tiredness, with, maybe just the whole thing. For me, it's crazy, obviously, that I mean let us sink in. So the advocate for Luke Mitchell conducted an interview on the anniversary of the incident question that Luke is being convicted for with a registered sex offender on YouTube. Obviously, it was what do you call it? It was uploaded the day after, but still, the questions all over all of that. So, really, as I say, one of the videos I had coming up kind of looked a little bit into this. Not Mr. Parker himself, but someone he's involved with, Mr. Michael Naughton. I'm sure many people have heard of one of the cases was written in Sandra Lean's book of Simon Hall. Mr. Naughton was involved with a lot of that in terms of the innocence claims. And indeed, I mean, him and Ms. Lean so Hall actually did, admit to guilt before committing suicide, I believe a year after it. So when that happened, though, I mean, it's not like either Mr. Naughton or Ms. Lean came out and said, guys, look, we do apologise, we thought the evidence pointed to innocence, but we know we were duped or lied to or anything like that. They both doubled down on it. And instead, they actually, I think both I know Mr. Ron, I believe Ms. Lean as well, really put it down to the fact that the confession was done because of a lot of the medication he was on at the time, the drugs he was on at the time. So it's more probable that drugs made you admit to a murder and then kill yourself than it is just for someone to finally tell the truth and for you to be wrong. I think that speaks a lot to ego and the fragility of, being proven wrong. And it's not like it's unusual. I'm going to do some of this in Comment Corner, actually. We'll leave that there. We'll put a pin in that one. Getting back to what I was talking about, sidetracked. As I said, so that's what the video was coming up. I mean, these guys are very intrinsically linked. So when it comes to why did Ms. Lean do an interview with Mr. Parker, it all goes back to the fact that all these people are intrinsically linked to each other and all part of the same thing. All part of the same, misinformation, disinformation, lies, whatever you want it, lies. And they all make, quite a name for themselves doing it. Mr. Norton's basically the Ms. Lean to the Simon Hall case, essentially. There we go. That's my reason for them obviously doing it. I don't have to say why. It's not a good look at all to be doing that kind of thing. And I'm sure people can say, people can be rehabilitated and whatnot, but that doesn't fall under this one, because at the end of the day, the guy's saying that, no, I didn't do it. So he's not being rehabilitated, and if anything, he's doubling down as well. It's absolutely insane. But what we really want to talk about today, in all honesty, is not only this craziness, but what comes after it. And again, going back to the thing I said in the other video, the mental gymnastics it takes to then take a defence against this, seen by well-looked supporters. I've been sent a lot of screenshots by different people with this discussion happening on other videos, and I'll be honest, I'm absolutely baffled by how people can somehow, it's like, I don't know if you read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, Douglas Adams was, I'd much rather be happy than be right I'd much rather be happy than be right any day. That's what it was. And it's that kind of idea that, the idea, like, finding out the truth is so minimal. It's so out there that you just keep your mind busy and keep yourself happy by this confirmation bias, and you're willing to block out everything else as long as it just keeps you happy and busy. And that's what because really, if I sat you down and said, look, right, I know you're having a hard time with making a decision about this person that you may or may not be in love with. But what I've done is, I've got yourself a rapist, a well-known racist, and someone who's convicted of armed robbery. And I've sat them all down and asked them what they think. And they think you're fine to go ahead. What's your answer? I mean, come on. The fact, I get a bit angry there, but it's, I don't get it. How can you, well, we know how, because at the end of the day, they're saying that Luke Mitchell's innocent, so everybody else is quite happy to ignore what goes along with it. Again, this will all be gone into the psychology of it, but let's really take that in. The people that have been around, we know there was some reporting, as I say, of someone who was involved with the KKK. There was this guy here that's a convicted rapist, guilty, convicted, served time, 2 sexual assaults on the actual sex offenders register. Wow. So you got that, and then Forbes himself, who's got his criminal history. And somehow we ignore all this so that we can then chastise official government bodies like the courts and the police and even the mainstream media, but we believe the rapists, the racists and the criminals. Are you having a laugh? Am I going crazy? What? Baffling. And I imagine there will be people that support Luke Mitchell that watch this video. Honestly, guys, what? Really? baffling. But really, as I say, future videos we need to look into the whole entire thing. It's not just Miss Lean and Mr. Forbes. It's like some kind of underground. I mean, it's strange that they talk about the Satanic Panic and the Illuminati, I always said in the last video, the lizard people and all the rest of it, because it's, what's it? Forbes projection. Scott Forbes always talks about projection, and I think that's a defence mechanism. I truly, truly do, because I think a lot of the things that he accuses people of, he does himself. And I'll say right now, one of them is probably sock puppets, like account things, sock account, whatever you call it, because I do think that he's been on videos with myself. He's blatantly been on videos in his own name, but there's just other things as well. I actually saw a post that someone sent me where he forgot to sign out of one of his accounts on Twitter and then commented under his other account and then still denied it. Amazing. So yeah, I mean, as I say, a wee bit of an angry rant with this one, but I'm baffled. I am absolutely baffled by how people can take up defending positions when these are the people that they're taking on side. Honestly, I just don't get it. And then I did crack a joke obviously about James English, but I did have a look at James English kind of library as well. And I always say Tommy 10 names. That's Tommy Robinson, Stephen Yaxley Lennon. Things like that, and promoting people like Andrew Tate and stuff. It's the circles you walk in, I think, that speaks absolute volumes, nearly swore there by the way, about your intentions. And none of these people seem sincere. None of them. And I've shown as well that I will go on to show this because, as I say, doing a video in the background where I've had to watch a lot of chats such as this one here. That's why I kind of was apprehensive as to just jump on this one, to be honest, but I'm glad I did. But the tracking certain things that are said by certain people and how they've changed, evolved, and how they differ from each other. So we can look at it that way as well, and I'll probably do a little bit the same way, maybe some things that I can see from Mr. Norton and anyone else involved there as well, to be honest with you. So as I say, that one is crazy. Let me know what you think. Is it a good look for Sandra Lean to be conducting interviews with a convicted rapist? And I will hammer down on that, convicted rapist. So is that a strong look? Also, the whole thing, don't know what is this kind of society of this innocence fraud kind of movement in terms of Mr. Norton, Mrs. Lean and all the rest of it. How do you feel knowing that there is, I mean, this is like a sect, like I hate to use like the word cult and stuff like that. It's not good considering the whole satanic panic kind of thing. Like I say, I know a lot of people did put satanic panic in terms of that's why Luke Mitchell was found guilty. So, oh, by the way, I mean, it's all right. It's not satanic panic. It's drugs. Everyone else is on drugs, and that's the problem. On drugs, and you can admit to killing someone on drugs, and it makes you paranoid, and you end up killing a family member. Or maybe you're on drugs and you wrote some poems or something from college, and you killed a lassie in the woods or something. Drugs. So we're not satanic panic. It's not the Omen. It's reefer madness, guys. God, cheese and rice, honestly. So, as I say, what do you think? I would say as well with the Norton Lean thing, a lot of the time it's what gets me, and I'll be honest here so we can just kind of like really understand. What gets me is that a lot of these people I find disgenuine like to use the word actual, factual. These are the known facts. Facts, actual, factual. So I would say Luke Mitchell and Simon Hall, actual, factual, guilty killers. That's, if you want to use those words in proper context. There is no factual when it comes to what's been said. Known facts. These aren't known facts. Every thing that we've got, even appeals go against that. What's written in appeal. But I suppose the courts, they're one of the lizard people as well, aren't they? So who are the lizard people? We could get a generation game kind of thing going here. I'm off on tangents. I'm way off on tangents. But we could get a kind of generation thing going here. So we've got Cuddly Toy. Lothian and Borders Police, the courts, the media, Jodie's family, I believe, parts of Luke's family, I believe, but was Shane one of the lizard people? Did he infiltrate? Shane Mitchell, of course, did not corroborate Luke Mitchell's alibi, so he must be a lizard person. I don't know who else. But again, as I say, maybe we could get that. Well, there's a video for you. We'll get like a put your suggestions below. We'll get a video where it's like the generation game kind of like window thing going, and we'll just put in people that are guilty of being lizard people. Yes, as I say, a bit of an angry rant today, but I was taken aback by this one. Just after I did it, I thought, this is insane. Maybe I'm the only one though. Maybe I am, like, because I'm kind of watching all this now. Maybe people who've been around this are just like, meh. Which kind, oh no, in fact, I suppose more so actually. So before we wrap this up, we'll do a quick comment corner. This is all kind of thrown together, but this one was a wee bit easy because we can give some people a little homework as well, I suppose, can't we? So let's do comment corner and then we'll wrap up, guys. So, comment corner sees a little kind of return, we guest appearance, but we're going to look at two comments really on the same thread, which was on the last video. Strange Nostalgia, hello again, had said, Lean done an interview with a convicted rapist on Friday night. 20 years to the date Jodie was murdered. I believe it was Sean that said that in the video as well. Anyway, 20 years to the date Jodie was murdered. She either has no sense or doesn't care who she mixes with. So I posed the question as to what the reason was that she thought that might have been a good look. If it's a case of not knowing who he is, then I don't believe that for a second. But that would be, probably, again, looking at it a wee bit better before you do it. So for me, it's the other side of the coin. As I say, they meant it. But there was another comment after it from Dan. My eyesight is terrible. Is that Dan S? Sorry if I've got your name wrong, my friend Dan. I think it's Dan. She never has cared who she mixes with, from Billy Middleton to Adrian Prout, etc. She's attracted to men who kill females and children for some weird reason. Now, again, I'm not going to speak to the attraction that Sandra Lean has to anyone. That's on, well, obviously yourself. I can't really say. But the homework that I was going to talk about, we will have stuff upcoming about loads of different things. But for those not familiar with those two names, Billy Middleton and Adrian Prout, when you're done here, when you finish the video, or even if you want to do it at the same time, open up a little tab and Google Adrian Prout and Billy Middleton. So Adrian Prout, you know how to spell it, Adrian Prout, Prout, and I'm pretty sure Billy Middleton's quite straightforward. Have a little Google search, see what you can find. But thank you for your comments, guys. I imagine the questions that I asked today, you'll probably agree with my sentiment, but please, again, I'm not banning for you to chat. If you have anything you'd like to say, continue to comment. That goes for anything else as well, people. As I say, we asked a couple of questions. What's your answers? What do you think? Is it a good look? Is it something that should be done? How do people then defend that kind of place by saying, no, we're quite happy to have, the rapist, the racist, and the criminals in here to tell us who's innocent and who's guilty, and we'll ignore the police and the courts. So yes, what do you think? Little comment, guys. I would be interested to know. Let's do a little wrap up here as well, and we'll follow up. We'll just let you get on with the rest of your day. So a rather simple one today, one subject matter, and that is the craziness that was all of that interview and how it came to be. As I say, we know why it came to be. These people are linked. It's all a part of the same thing. So it's more of a case of backing each other rather than finding another voice that wants to hear your story. I'm sure they'll return the favour in some way, shape or form with a documentary or something from someone. Either regardless. Actually, take a step back. I do want to say I'm not my analogy there of the rapist, the racist, and the armed robber. I'm not saying Mr. Forbes is an armed robber. I do believe Mr. Forbes does have a conviction for some form of robbery, but it wasn't armed robbery. I'm sure the comment section, there's what's up. Educate the people, folks, on what's going on. I've not got everything to hand because I'm spinning so many plates. I've got something coming up. I'm looking at New Battle Abbey College and everything all about that. It's interesting. How that came to be and why it was there. But I'm sure somebody will educate you on what Mr. Forbes' criminal background actually is in the comments below. So go forth and educate people. Go forth and educate. So that, yeah, as I say, thank you for watching this. Let me know what you think here. Am I overreacting? People like me and strange nostalgia and whatnot, are we all overreacting? Is that what it is? We should be able to hear anybody out and have anyone conduct these things. Another one with Mr. Parker as well, when he was talking about the offence being brought in for wolf whistling and staring and things like that, and I thought, what a really strange person to ask about stuff like that, considering. So again, it's baffling why it's not just Miss Lean. There's a number of people that seem to think it's acceptable. I don't. Argue with me if you want. I don't care. I don't think it's acceptable. Especially, I saw a comment as well about how he seemed so, interested in what was to be said by Ms. Lean, and I generally thought he was just a bit leery. It was a bit a bit stary and creepy. But I'm not a woman. You guys can decide how you feel about how he acted, but maybe I'm just I am basing it off his conviction, probably, but I don't think I can be a bad person for doing that because he was convicted. So yeah, thank you very much for watching this one. I'm pretty sure something else will happen after I've uploaded this, because it always seems to be, so keep an eye out. I'm sure there's something going on, and I'm sure somebody will send me a message about it, but for now I think that's about covering it, really. So yes, we will do updates like this when there are more updates. Maybe a couple of things on Twitter and stuff as well, because I don't want to keep on jumping on everything, and for this to be the channel totally just me constantly talking about this every couple of days. So that's an interesting one. Let me know what you think, how you feel, and more interesting, let me know how you think that the Luke Mitchell supporters can take up a defence position with this. What's your thoughts? What's gone, through their head? And I know it's quite easy just to say, they don't care, and to a certain extent it's probably true for a majority of them, but there must be, reasons given and what. So how do you think they come? What mental gymnastics are they doing to get to that point where they think, yes, this is fine, don't worry about it, carry on? Again, we go back to the whole, I'd much rather be happy than be right any day for me, but that's the way I work. What do you think? Also, catch us on Twitter, again, at what they found. Leave us a little comment, leave us those sarcastic thumbs up, they'll be much appreciated. Thank you very much, by the way, guys, for the response from the Crispy and Wah video. As I say, it's when you're doing that kind of, like, that second album, so it's, as we said before, it is a bit apprehensive. Thank you very much for all the great feedback I've had for that, and I'll continue to do some more. What I do is, obviously, I have, as I say, been looking at splicing a couple of things together to really track where we are and who said what. Also got things coming up on the psychology, which will cover a little bit of this, but not too much, really, to be honest, this specific thing, because it's all written out and started. But also we'll have something else coming up which isn't related to this, or long form, a little shorter form, a little easier to digest as well. So keep an eye out for that. Fingers crossed that should be out soon as well. And thank you for your time. As I say, leave a little comment below, leave a little sarcastic thumbs up, catch us on Twitter. Don't be a Derek. And enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.